as the green flag waves. Corvette first on the racetrack, the 3-car.
3-car is Jan Magnussen, 4-car is Ollie Gavin, just like we thought. The 911 is the defending GTLM champion, Patrick Pilet. 912 is the defending Le Mans champion, Earl Bamber. We've got Bill Oberlin, as you guys said, in the 25, and Lucas Luhr in the 100. It was Joey Hand going out in the 66, Giancarlo Fisichella in the Risi Ferrari. You guys who loves the tracks, it reminds me of Monaco. And the only car that I haven't yet seen go by is the 68, so I'll walk down a little bit, but I would imagine it would be Daniel Serra doing that. Our other option, of course, is Sebring GTD winner Alessandro Balzan.
So Joey Hand then qualified number 66 for Chip Ganassi Racing, the Ford GT. He was driving a prototype with pretty much the same Ford EcoBoost turbo engine in the prototype car last year, put it on the front row of the grid, finished second as well. So he's got experience of how this engine feels around here, but not perhaps this Ford GT chassis, but that's a very sophisticated car. It really is akin to a prototype in many, many ways. Very beautiful piece of equipment. And Joey Hand will be looking for a strong run in qualifying this afternoon. We talked about it a little while ago. The qualifying for this race, much more important certainly than either of the 2 races we've had this season. The 12 hours of Sebring, the 24 hours of Daytona, really doesn't matter where you start there because you've got all day and or all night to make up any ground you might have lost in qualifying. But here in tomorrow's just 100-minute race, if you can start up front, it makes your job in the race a whole heck of a lot easier.
First person to complete their outlap is Jan Magnussen in the number 3 Corvette. He's chased by one of the Porsches. I believe it was Earl Bamber in the 912. Joey Hand has completed his outlap in the 66, and he is certainly trying hard. And a little bit wide there. Almost looked like he threw the lap away a little bit.
No, just building some heat into the tires at that point.
He hit a bump when the car kicked sideways going through it was turn 6. No, this is turn 6. That's turn my numbering
8
is off.
These days, coming out of the seaside.
Yeah,
I got my terminology wrong this morning because there was a little kink between 6 and 7, 6 and 8, which they call turn 7. I'd always pretty much regarded that as a non-corner, so I kind of took that out. Really, I was considering 10 turns here. It's a kick. The cars go dead straight. I've done a little bit of up Pine Avenue there, real short stretch on Pine Avenue, full turn right on the Seaside Way, but they do call it a turn, so they do call this an 11-turn officially racetrack.
So, our first, Earl Bamber gets it all wrong, locks up, had smoke coming off the left front tire as he was coming through. And then put the binders on, so he's thrown that lap away. But Oliver Gavin didn't throw his first lap away. He goes through at a 1:19.297 to lay down our first real time. Jan Magnussen went through at a 1:20.2. Fisichella went through at 1:20.7. So we will see these times come down a lot as we have 11 minutes remaining in the session. Remember, once they have 10 minutes complete, then the session will be official. So
I would expect lap 4 or 5, possibly 3, but more likely 4 or 5 to be the ultimate lap of these tires. It'll take a couple of laps to get these tires up to optimal working temperature, get the brakes all warmed up as well, and really get that car ready to take advantage of the peak performance of their Michelin tires.
Gavin goes through the hairpin. He'll come onto the front straightaway. Magnussen goes through at a 1:18.2. Gavin now, that's Gavin that goes through at a 1:18.2. Magnussen has gone through at a 1:18.5. Fisichella through at a 1:19.058. Then comes Joey Hand in a 1:19.466. And then the 2 Porsches, as now Patrick Pilet goes through the first car into the 1:17s in qualifying as we have 10 minutes remaining in the session at a 1:17.941 for the number 911 of Patrick Pilet.
And the fastest lap in qualifying, the qualifying lap record here set last year by Bill Oberlin in then the BMW Z4 GTE. This year, of course, running a new M6 BMW, so a very different package for this season for BMW Team RLL, but we're now getting in the realm of lap record time, at least within 7/10 of a second for Patrick Pilet, fastest at the moment in that Porsche car number 911.
If you weren't with us earlier, remember the number 67 Ford, Ryan Briscoe, and Richard Westbrook teaming up in that car. Westbrook had the car catch on fire for him. They're going to miss this qualifying session, but they will be ready for the race tomorrow. So as now Jan Magnussen goes through at a 1:17.7, only to be pipped again by Oliver Gavin at a 1:17.624.
Yeah, time begins to top now. That's the fourth lap completed by Oliver Gavin there. Fastest time at 1:16.6. Jan Magnussen, his teammate, just a tenth of a second slower at 1:17.7. And that Ford GT number 67 car this morning, it was a fuel leak they had on that car. The fitting where the oil line goes through the bulkhead from the cell into the engine bay failed, and that was caused that fuel leak. It caught fire, and it was quite a big conflagration. Bit of a scary moment for Richard Westbrook. That car will not qualify this afternoon, but all being well, it should be ready well in time for the race tomorrow.
Earl Bamber has come to the pits. Let's go to Shea Adam.
A very rare trip to the pits during the qualifying session. Earl Bamber, you're not allowed to change the tires during the qualifying session, so the guys are changing the pressures. Clearly, they are not happy with the way that the setup and the car is handling, as Earl demonstrated in that one corner. No other nice way to put it. But they are doing massive swings in terms of the pressure. They are trying to do something impressive here because they know that this 912 is fast, as Earl just proved that a few minutes ago. He's firing, attempting to deafen all of us, and back out on track.
Best time for that car so far is a 1:20, almost full 3 seconds off the pace, 2.9 seconds off the pace set by Oliver Gavin, who I guess he's cooling his tires. He went through and did not improve, went through at a 1:21.2. Jan Magnussen continues to try to improve. He just set a personal best. Patrick Pilet went purple in sectors 1 and 2, but it could only improve to third at a 1:17.8. So the top 4 now separated by 0.5 of a second, and the top 6 separated by 0.9 of a second.
Yeah, and track conditions here this afternoon pretty good, but there is a pretty good breeze blowing, and it's coming from a somewhat unusual position, more from the west here, which means that as the cars are turning in that the curving shoreline driving, heading off down to turn 1 at terminal speed here on the streets of Long Beach, they're going directly into the wind. So that'll certainly cost them a little bit of time. And you might ask, well, won't they make that up going down the back straightaway with the wind behind them? Well, sort of, kind of, except that the wind on the back straight along Seaside Way is kind of sheltered
by buildings,
by the tall buildings, by the fact you're just at the bottom of a little
down in almost a little valley.
Yeah, yep. Almost.
Yeah, because ocean.
It's down on the sort of floodplain, if you like.
That's right.
Because there is elevation change between there and the next street up, which is Ocean Boulevard.
And thus causing the great the uphill at Pine and the downhill at Linden back in the original configuration of this racetrack. So Earl Bamber is back out on the racetrack. Joey Hand continuing to struggle to come to grips with the Ford. He had an off at the end of the front straightaway at turn 1. Again, just like in the practice sessions, nobody hitting anything, just kind of going in a little too deep. As now Bill Auberlin joins the group in the 117s. Fully 4 cars now in the 117s. He's 0.3 off the pace of Oliver Gavin. So, and Patrick Pilet now goes purple again in sector 1.
Yes, on our timing and scoring charts, the track is divided into 3 different sectors. The first sector is down, takes the cars through the fountain section. There's a middle section and a last section as well. So when we're talking about purple times, that means what shows up on our timing and scoring screen. If it's no improvement by that particular drive, it just shows up in yellow. If it's a personal improvement for that particular car, it shows up in blue. And if it is the fastest of anybody in each of the classes, it shows up in purple. So certainly that's a good lap by Oliver Gavin. He did improve a little bit, down to a 1:17.573, so clipped off almost a tenth of a second, but that's not good enough because Patrick Pilet has gone fastest of all now, 1:17.487. So out of me too, because that was his 7th lap and still going faster.
I think they all know, as Earl Bamber just went purple in the first sector at a 25.1, as we've got 4.5 minutes remaining in this session. I think it's still all a question as to who will be on the pole. I don't think, as John would say, I don't think it's time to write the headline yet. I think that we are going to have 4 minutes of hammer and tong racing here to see who will be on the pole in the GTLM category for tomorrow's Bubba Burger Sports Car Grand Prix.
Yeah, and Earl Bamber is on a very, very good lap here in car number 912. He got fastest ball through the first sector, personal best in the second sector, so he's now working his way down to probably along Seaside Way. Just final 3 corners to go. The right-hander at turn 9, the end of Seaside Way, then a long sweeping left that goes into the final hairpin and will bring him onto shoreline drive. Earl Bamber does indeed just do that, and he does go fastest. 117.397 for Earl Bamber, the New Zealander, for the wheel of car number 912. So we have Porsche 1-2 at the moment. And for Porsche too, we talked about Mazda having a home base here in Southern California, based down in Irvine. Well, Porsche Motorsport North America is based also in Santa Ana at the moment. They're going to be moving up to Culver over the next few months, but again, very much Southern California based.
So now Bill Auberlen goes through. Wow. Bill Auberlen not to be outdone. A 1:17.272 for the Redondo Beach driver, the man who has the key to this city after winning a year ago here at Long Beach. It was a great victory for him, so he knows his way around this racetrack, and he's proving it. 3 minutes to go. Bill Auberlen is your provisional pole sitter at 1:17.272, but Earl Bamber is still on it. Those tire pressure adjustments that Shane told us about has certainly worked for that 912 Porsche 911 GT3R.
Yeah, indeed, and again, certainly Earl Bamber is on a really, really good lap here in that number 912 car. Bill Auberlen just 4/1000ths of a second outside his own track record, qualifying track record set here last year.
So does Auberlen have more speed? Does Earl Bamber have anything for him? How about Patrick Pilet or Oliver Gavin in the Corvette? 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Earl Bamber did improve on that lap, but not enough to knock Bill Auberlen off the fastest time. Earl Bamber second then, a 1:17.360, less than 1/10 of a second away from the class leading time at the moment, the number 25 BMW of Bill Auberlen. Bill Auberlen now brings that car onto pit lane. His session is done.
And it says Oliver Gavin and Giancarlo Fisichella in the number 62 Ferrari. So now it is down to Bamber, Pilet, Jan Magnussen, and Joey Hand, and Belzon still out on the racetrack. So Bill Auberlen right now, he says, there you go, boys. There's a minute and a half left. Can the Porsches beat the BMW? Earl Bamber has just gone purple in sector 2. We'll have to see what he does in his third sector. Jan Magnussen brings the Corvette in, so he's done. There goes Bamber by. What's his time going to be? Not good enough. Whoa, by 3/1000ths of a second, not good enough. Bill Auberlen at a 1:17.272, and with a minute to go, Earl Bamber goes through at a 1:17.275. He's got one last shot at it to see if he can knock Bill Auberlen off the pole. 1 minute to go. Will he get another lap, you think, or is this going to be it, Jeremy?
No, well, this will be...
He's going to be close.
It's going to be close. It is going to be close, actually, yeah, but you don't get much closer than that, do you? 3/1000ths of a second. That's all he needs to make up. I mean, that's just one less breath, I would suggest, around the lap to slow it in the car's momentum. But remarkable how close that is. Patrick Pilet is still out there as well. But there was no improvement on that lap for Earl Bamber. In the first sector, 25.3, but still within a tenth of a second or so of his best time so far. No improvement either in sector 2, so I think he's going to be quicker.
Yeah, no, I think he's. I think that was his best shot at it on his next to last lap. I think he's lifted a little bit here.
And hey, that was about his fifth lap after,
yes,
after
exactly.
the air pressure change.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So Earl Bamber will Bill Auberlen separates the Porsches from a 1-2 sweep of qualifying. So Bill Auberlen, your defending race winner in the IHG Rewards Club BMW number 25. We're still waiting for the checkered flag to fall.
Indeed. Patrick Pilet has brought the number 911 car onto pit lane. There goes the Ford GT of Joey Hand across the line.
There's the checkered flag.
No, fractionally not an improvement for Joey Hand. The best he has managed is a 118.120, so about 9/10 of a second slower than the pole sitter.
So congratulations to Bill Auberlen. Now
Well,
Earl
wait a minute.
did go through. Earl did not take the checkered
No,
flag.
he didn't. And what he did on that last lap was just cool those tires
Yeah.
just a little bit. It was a 118.6, so when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit, only a second or so slower than his previous lap. But he's on it now still, is Earl Bamber, the New Zealander.
As he goes through the hairpin, puts the power down, slides the back end around, almost hits the wall. He'll go under the checkered flag. Does he improve? No, he does not. A 117.390. So now we can write the headline. Bill Auberlen, your defending race winner, is going to be the pole sitter for tomorrow's Bubba Burger Grand Prix at Long Beach, Sports Car Grand Prix at Long Beach in the GTLM category. Earl Bamber will start alongside in the Porsche 911 RSR number 912. Patrick Pilet will be third quickest in his Porsche. Let's go to our Continental Tire pit lane reporter, Shea Adam, with our pole sitter.
Bill Auberlen, I know that you live just up the street, but do you own this track?
I do not own this track, but I love this track. I mean, I love this. When we come to Long Beach, it is so much fun. And I'm telling you, the excitement from all my friends that's generated here propels all my cars a little bit faster and helps me out. And it's to do it in your home track, there's nothing better. I was on the pole in Sebring, and we proved it goes quick on a long track. Now we got this M6 GTLM with Michelin tires, an IHG sponsor, going quick on a tight one with walls. And I can't be happier.
That qualifying session couldn't have been any closer either with the Porsche right behind you. What's going to be the strategy for the start of the race to keep him at bay?
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to try to keep, if I can keep him behind me, that would be great because it's really hard to pass here in Long Beach. And, you know, as long as we don't bump and bang and we keep it all in one piece, my main objective, I want to win again. We won it 2 out of the last 3 years. If I could win it, that'd be great. But if I could leave here with great points for the championship, I think when we get to the other tracks, I'm going to be really happy with this car, and I can't wait.
He wants to win at the end of the day. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Yeah.
That, Jeremy Shaw, is a happy man.
Yeah, isn't it just great to see? I mean, he's always super enthusiastic, Bill Auberlen, but particularly when he's running as competitively as he is right now. It's a great effort by the Redondo Beach resident, and as he said, he wants he's tasted what victory is like here on the streets of Long Beach. He liked it. He wants to do it once again.
And he wants a third helping. So let's run down the times one more time for you as we're getting ready for the PC cars to take the track for their 15-minute session. Bill Auberlen, quickest at a 117.272, then 3 1/1000ths of a second. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, just 3 1/1000ths of a second at 117.275. Earl Bamber, your defending Le Mans 24 Hours champion, will be starting on the front row along with Bill Auberlen. Then comes Patrick Pilet in the 911, the Porsche 911 RSR number 911 at a 117.458. Then the 2 Corvettes, 4th and 5th. Oliver Gavin qualifying at a 117.573, just 0.3 of a second behind Auberlen. And then Jan Magnussen will start in 5th position at 117.676, just 0.4 of a second behind our pole sitter. Then comes the second BMW in 6th position, Lucas Luhr qualifying at a 118.105. Then Joey Hand in the Ford number 66, the Ford GT, that beautiful red, white, and blue livery of that car at a 118.120. Then the 2 Ferraris, 8th and 9th, Giancarlo Fisichella and the Risi Competizione number 62 at a 118.282. And Belzon, Alessandro Belzon, starting the Ferrari 9th, the number 68 car at a 118.290. Jeremy, our top 5 separated by just 0.4 of a second. Tomorrow's race, they're going to be bungee corded together, and it is just going to be 100 minutes of flat out bump and shuffle racing.
It certainly is. Really excited for tomorrow's race, and the oldest guy in the GTLM field, Bill Oblin. I know you won't thank me for mentioning that, but at 47 years of age, he's just getting better. I think. I really do. He's as fast as ever, if not faster. Well, not quite as fast, because last year he went 0.004 of a second quicker in the Z3. But a great effort by Bill Oblin, and that is certainly going to put him in the ultimate position to take advantage of that and come away with perhaps his third win in 4 years here on the streets of Long Beach. That will be tomorrow.
And old age and treachery will win out over youth and enthusiasm every time. And Earl Bamber found that out the hard way, didn't he, Shay?
Oh boy, did he ever. He is sweating like you would not believe, Jim. It's good. He worked very hard for that. But Earl, next time, do you think you can make it a little closer for us?
Yeah, I mean, I can try and make it a little bit closer, but yeah, I think this is a huge team effort by the Porsche North America team. You know, Long Beach particularly hasn't been our strongest circuit in a few years, and now to turn it around and get a second and third in quali is fantastic. And just missed it out. I made a slight mistake at the hairpin, and it kills you, but car's good for the race as well, and I'm sure Fred will do a good job in the second half of the race. So I'm looking forward to it, and Bill's a master around here. It's his home track, so maybe I follow him in the race and pick up a few tricks.
What kind of a difference did the tire pressure adjustment make? Because we have green flag out on track.
Oh, nothing.
Really?
No, I mean, we made a slight mistake, and then we had to rebox it and check the tire pressure. So, full credit to the team. Great turnaround. And, I think it's a testament to this team right now. Core's been manufacturer championship two years in a row, also Porsche. And I think it shows that we're really a strong team right now.
Well, your first time to Road America, you put the car on pole. Your first time here at Long Beach, and you nearly did it again. So we need to see you at more first-time tracks. Is Monster Raceway a first time for you?
Oh yeah, Laguna's first time. So let's see what we can do there.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
All right, green flag is out for the prototype challenge cars. 15-minute session, and in fact already we're down to almost 12 and a half minutes. So guys didn't exactly rush out onto the racetrack, Jeremy. They kind of sat there for a little while.
Yeah, and always in PC we see times getting faster and faster and faster as the session goes down, and I think this is going to be the same this afternoon. It was a great battle last. Well, no, the PC guys haven't been here, have they, since 2013?
Yeah.
Bruno Junqueira, it was, put his car on pole position for RSR Racing back in 2013. That team not here this weekend, so we'll see if somebody can wrest away the track record that was set by Bruno Junqueira on that occasion. It was a 1 minute. Find my page here. I'll come back to that.
Oh, you caught me catching a drink. So PC cars completing their outlaps. The first car through, Mikael Goikberg in the number 85 car. That's the car that won the 24 Hours of Daytona. So we've got cars here that have already been competitive through the first two races of the season.
Sorry about that.
What's that?
Catching you unawares there. I was talking and I wasn't. So it's a 1:16.167 was Bruno Junqueira's track record time for PC back in 2014. We saw some fast times in the practice session. We teamed up by Colin Brown in car number 54 for Core Autosport, but Colin will not be qualifying that car in this session. It will be the team owner, John Bennett, who isn't on the same level as Colin Brown, and that's not to slight John Bennett in any way, because Colin Brown is seriously quick and a lot of experience in these cars as well.
Colin could be racing any prototype out there, and John Bennett is lucky to have him as a co-driver. And John, in his own right, has improved greatly through the years, and in fact has gone through, as we are seeing our first times come through, has gone through second quick at a 1:22.384. Now in the morning session, Colin Brown went through at 1:17.1 was the fastest time. I suspect we will see times in the mid-17s probably in this qualifying session.
Yeah, it depends. As we talked about a little while ago, it'll be the non-professional drivers. This is effectively a Pro-Am class PC, and it will be the AM or the lesser experienced drivers who will start in tomorrow's Bubba Burgers Grand Prix of Long Beach, and therefore will have to qualify the car here as well. So we're not going to see the same sort of times we saw in the first 2 practice sessions. But I think here it's going to be the experience that is going to be the key, and that's people like Alex Popow in one of the Star Works cars. He'll be driving number 8 here with Renger van der Zande. He's certainly going to have a good opportunity here. Tommy Drixie in car 20 for Bar 1 Motorsports. A lot of experience here, certainly on the streets of Long Beach, not necessarily, however, in a PC car.
Much like Bill Auberlin, this race for Tommy Drixie is a home event. He works in the movie promotion business here in Southern California in Hollywood. I was talking to him today at Marion's during lunch, and he's very close. He's hoping to being able to add making trailers. Right now he does the print ads and the hard art is what they call it, I guess, in the movie industry. He was explaining to me. And I asked him, I says, so do you get to do trailers? And he says, that's always been my dream. And he says, I'm getting close. So wish him all the best with that. Tommy is one of the great personalities. He's one of the great guys in the paddock. Very popular, very friendly, very gregarious. He fills up a room when he enters it.
Yeah, he's great.
In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. Tremendous fun. He was one of the few drivers who at last night's banquet run by the Red Racing Drivers Club to honour George Foreman, who was one of the greats of the sport in the 60s and 70s, and Tommy was there in awe of the whole thing. And there's some artwork that's scattered around the wall, pictures from George Foreman's career, and Tommy Drixie put bids down on at least a couple of pictures there. He was asking me this morning, did I win those posters? Because he was just absolutely loves anything to do with the history of the sport, super enthusiast, and you should say a real character.
All right, representative times are now starting to come in as these cars have completed now 4 laps, and we are just under 8 minutes to go. Let's catch you up. James French is quickest at a 1:18.420. He's ahead of Robert Allen in the number 52 car at a 1:19.012. Then Mikael Goikberg in the number 85 car at a 1:19.154. Then comes John Bennett in 4th position in the class at a 1:19.613. Alex Popov in the number 8 is 6th in class at a 1:20.281. Then comes Tommy Drixie and Mark Kvamme.
Oops,
rounding out the side. Ooh, that's the 88 car. It looks like that is Kvamme.
The car's been in the wars a little bit in the practice sessions earlier, and today Ashley Freiberg had a couple of incidents. So another one there.
That's the end. That's the end of the straightaway. Ooh, looks like he might have had some help from the 52 car. Couldn't tell for sure, but the 52 car was awfully close behind him, and then he went around and went backwards into the concrete barrier that is just past where the tire wall ends. So a bad break for Kvamme. As Jeremy said, the left rear quarter panel of this car has been taking a beating today. This is about the 3rd time that car has made contact. Red flag now. Red flag for this session. So this is going to be interesting as James French has gone through. Wow, at a 1:17.9. So good job for James as he's in and amongst the GTLM cars now, as we would expect some of these cars to do, be faster than the GTLM cars, a little bit more nimble. They are prototypes.
Certainly they are considerably lighter than the GTLM cars that were out just a little while ago. All of the Orica, these are all Orica FLM 09 chassis with the 6.2 litre Chevy LS3 crate motors, stock block motors in the PC cars, and they weigh in at 910 kilograms. All of the base weight for the GTLM class.
What's that in old money?
Is 1,240 kilograms. Basically double it and add a bit. So about 1,900 pounds for the PC cars and 2,600 pounds or thereabouts for the GTLM cars.
Now we were very close. We were only about a minute and a half or 2 minutes away from this session getting to the 10-minute mark, which would make it official. So if we can get this car cleared,
Yeah, and he hasn't been able to drive that car away, has he? Apparently.
No, the left rear suspension is deranged enough that he can't can't keep the car going in the direction that he wants to go.
It's good luck then by John Bennett to move up to second place. And he had a little bit of advantage there because he was following James French on the racetrack, I noticed, in those first few minutes of the session. So clearly able to learn something from James there. And so far, the second fastest time, that's John Bennett in car number 54, the car that he owns and will share with Colin Brown, who was quickest in both of the practice sessions earlier in the day. Third fastest there, car number 52, Robert Alon from a little bit farther down the coast in the Carlsbad area, just down the coast here in California. And not only is it his first time here on the streets of Long Beach, it's his first time on any sort of a street circuit in anything. He didn't know karting at all in the sport, just came into the sport 2 years ago with the Performance Tech team, raced in the, what is now the Cooper Tires, or the Mazda Prototype Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires, and he raced 2 seasons in that championship and now stepping up into PC for the first time in 2016. Given a very good account of himself this morning, Robert Alon was only a couple of tenths slower than Tom Kimber-Smith, who it's Tom Kimber-Smith's first time here on the streets of Long Beach, I believe. But
he's a multiple-time winner of his class at Le Mans, so he can pedal. Let's go down to Shea Adam in our Continental Power pit lane. The teams obviously are hoping this is a very short red flag, Shea.
And either they're all optimistic together or they know something that we don't, because every single car except for the 85 went past their pit box towards pit out and is now sitting in a line. So everybody's hoping that they can get this session started up again. And the 88, they were initially planning to drive it back to the pit box, but when they saw that it wasn't exactly going to work, all the crew jumped off the pit wall, and now they're trying to figure out another temporary solution.
So they don't have that car up on the flatbed yet, and we're closing in on 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is going to be tough to get this done, and if they haven't gotten their 10 minutes in, Jeremy, we will probably revert to points.
Well, the good news is the IMSA officials often are a little bit lenient and they kind of bend the rules a little bit. It's supposed to be only 15 minutes for this session in total, and as you say, you have to run 10 minutes for it to be an official session. But this is the last track activity for quite a while. I think the Formula Drift cars are out later on this evening, but there's a fair gap between now and then, so they may well perhaps look at extending this session a couple of minutes if that's all they need to do in order to get the 10 minutes total in for PC.
Yeah, they were very close to 2 minutes, if not under 2 minutes, when the red flag came out. There used to be a 6 p.m. curfew here, wasn't there, for the noise? But then you just had the rock band start, so I don't.
Yeah, that's
really
right. Now, could be. It's now, by now, after 42
years, that's right.
Everybody knows what's going on here. There's also always a lot of noise, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. So, and the Formula Drift cars, they aren't exactly quiet.
No.
with their huge V8 engines, whatever else they are powered by.
That is sensory overload, because not only did you get the sound, you get the smell.
Yeah. Burning rubber.
That's right. So they are very carefully hoisting the number 88 car up onto the flatbed. All 4 wheels are now up onto the flatbed, so we should be seeing that car towed away here very shortly. We've got, on our official timing and scoring, we've got 1 minute left. We're not sure yet what will actually transpire, what decision the officials will make. We've not seen any updates come across the bottom of our timing and scoring. So we'll just have to wait and see if indeed we will see a checkered flag in 45 seconds, or if we will have some added time to this session, and we will go from there. Now, if we do line up by points, that would mean that John Bennett, I believe, would be on the pole. No, that would be the 52 car. Robert Alon and Tom Kimber-Smith come into the race with 66 points, first overall. Second place would be
the number 85
car. The 85 car. Yep. Third place would be the 8 car.
Just 1 point differential between those two coming into this weekend. 66 points for number 52 car, which you're seeing on screen right there. It's the PR1 Matheson Motorsports entry. They had 2 second-place finishes in the first 2 races of the season. And the number 85 team of JDC Miller Motorsports just 1 point behind here with a win and a 4th position from the first 2 races of the season. The Core Autosport entry, car number 54, they had problems at Daytona, were out early in that event, but did win at Sebring to move up to 3rd position in the team championship points. They're on 60, so it's 66 points for PR1 Matheson Motorsports in car number 52. Just 1 point back, then 65 for car number 85. And Core Autosport in car number 54, 3rd position on 60 points, tied on points, but with a better record with 1 win to its name over the number 8 Starworks Motorsport entry.
So that'd be a tough break for John Bennett, who's 2nd right now, and checkered flag waves. So there's our answer. Checkered flag waves. So we will. That's going to be a tough break for John Bennett, who is 2nd quick in qualifying. But if we didn't get our 10 minutes in,
tougher break.
Or if they don't waive that, then he'll be starting 6th.
Yeah, tougher break it would certainly be for number 38 team, because they were
the
quickest in the session before that red flag interruption. James French, who scored.
The checkered flag is waved, and from Shea in the pits, the crews have been instructed to go get their cars at pit out and bring them back. So that is the end of PC qualifying.
3 poles last season for James French. We'll have to wait and see what the officials say as to whether this will be pole number 4 for the youngster from Wisconsin.
And Shea, what's the update from the pits?
38, 54, 52 is being called, so heading down that way towards the 38 pit.
They got the 10 minutes in, or close enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair decision by the officials. Again, sometimes common sense prevails over.
And increasingly so in the IMSA hierarchy, I would suggest. I think they're making some very, very good decisions all around. It was, there was plenty of green flag time. They did 5 or 6 laps. All of the cars, a minimum of 6 laps, I think, for everybody except for Mark Vamy, who found the wall there at the exit of turn 1.
Yep, that's right, 6. Yeah, everybody did 6. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so that's certainly enough time to get a representative time. Certainly, they would have gone faster, no doubt about that, if the session had been able to run its full course. But it's the same for everybody, isn't it?
That's right, and I think that's the key. So prototypes will be up next. So, who will it be in the prototype category?
Yes. Last year it was the Taylor brothers.
Will it be Corvette? Will it be the Mazda, the number 55, with Jonathan Bomarito behind the wheel?
That's what they're planning, that's for sure.
We have
Ricky Taylor, who put the car on the pole here for the car number 10 for Wayne Taylor Racing last year.
Or does Oz Negri, perhaps, or John Pugh have a surprise for us with the Shank Ligier?
No, it'll be John Pugh starting in that car. He's the oldest driver in the field, and certainly he isn't a pro
older
driver.
Than Bill?
So
Sorry, Billy.
I don't think John's. I mean, he does a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong here, but I don't think he'd be a contender for the pole position, nor would he probably claim to be so. But certainly Dane Cameron should be fast here. Whoever ends up qualifying for number 5 car will be fast, no question. And the 2 Mazdas. We have to see, they didn't show their paces in that last practice session that took place just before qualifying, but they were certainly fast this morning. And it was Jonathan Bomarito in car number 55 that set the fastest time in this morning's session at 1:15.9. We're just a few minutes away now from the start of this qualifying session for the prototype cars. Due schedule originally had it down to start at 6:15, which is about what we are now. Well, it was 6:16, so we were running 2 minutes late all the way through, so I would fancy within a half a minute or maybe even less we should get the green flag to get this final qualifying session of the day for tomorrow's Bubba Burger Sports Car Grand Prix at Long Beach underway.
Green flag. Green flag waves for qualifying for the prototypes.
A scramble there at the front of the field to get out onto the racetrack. A couple of the PC cars been rolled up the pit lane in the fast lane, so anybody who's parked farther back down the order on pit lanes going to have a hard time getting past those cars.
The Action Express cars are out first. That's the number 5, and the red and white number 31.
I believe they had the positions at the head of the field, if you like, in the pit lane. So they earned that as a result of their performances in the first couple of races.
Ricky Taylor's third out.
The points leader, actually, in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship after the first 2 rounds was in Tequila Patron. Ligier Honda won both the first 2 races, but has not contested the full championship and is not here this weekend. So that car will not add to its points tally here on the streets of Long Beach.
So kind of we have a virtual point there.
Indeed.
And that would be Fittipaldi and the company and the fast car.
Yeah, Scott Pruitt, who drove that car at Daytona, who drove the sister car at Sebring. Scott Pruitt also is not racing this weekend, and that's a shame because Scott has a tremendous record on the streets of Long Beach. Made his IndyCar debut here on the streets of Long Beach. This weekend.
We should see him back when the Lexus program comes to fruition.
The Genelozzi team, RSR Racing, will change the name of the team.
Yeah.
We haven't heard yet when that car will make its debut. Great to see another manufacturer involved, however.
Outlaps are complete, so with apologies to the late great Chris Economaki, the chips are down for all the marbles. It is time to go fast here at Long Beach. 12.5 minutes remaining. Who will be on the pole? That's the question that we will be answering with this 15-minute session. Will it be a Corvette? Will it be a Mazda? Will it be the Honda Ligier of the Shank Racing Team, number 60? In sheer numbers, the Corvettes have the advantage. They're looking for their 31st victory in the WeatherTech Championship since debuting these cars in 2012. And going through our first, as I say, our first outlaps are going through. We'll probably start to see some representative times here in a moment. Everyone going through in the 119s. We should see these cars down in the 115 range. So we should see about a 4-second per lap improvement as they get the heat into these Continental tires and start to put down some representative lap times. Going purple now is Ricky Taylor. The 24.877. So that's the fastest first sector of the weekend. Christian Fittipaldi goes through fastest in the second sector. So these drivers are starting to get up to speed. We should start to see some real competitive times start to flash on our timing and scoring at the end of this lap. And here they come. Fittipaldi goes through and goes to the top at a 1:16.6. Second through is Ricky Taylor, and he goes to a 1:15.7. So Taylor to the top of the chart, followed by Christian Fittipaldi, Eric Kern at a 1:16.7. Then Mark Cousins in the number 90 goes through in fourth position at a 1:17.026. So the times are tumbling here at Long Beach. It's time to see who will be on the pole. Tristan Nunez is qualifying the number 55 car. He goes through fourth quickest on his first lap at a 1:17.012. So the Mazda getting up there and breaking up the Corvette stranglehold on the top 4 positions. John Pugh, as Jeremy said, is qualifying the number 60 car. He is on his out lap, so we should start seeing some times from him come through very shortly as well. Fittipaldi about ready to complete lap number 2 as he goes through the right-left complex before turning hard right, putting on full lock, getting through, kicking, using power to kick the rear end around the hairpin and head down Shoreline Drive, the long front straightaway, the bending front straightaway. He goes through start-finish and improves to a 1:15.748, but that is not enough to beat Ricky Taylor, who goes through at a 1:15.545. So improvement by both. Fittipaldi ends up second. Now Mark Goossens goes through at a 1:16.1. Eric Curran has been bumped back to 4th position with a 1:16.270. Nunez in the number 55 goes through at a 1:16.5. And Ricky Taylor fastest again in Sector 1. Ricky Taylor is on it. He has come to show the dominance of this team at this racetrack.
Qualifying on the pole last year with the made a track record for the prototype cars here in this configuration. So 1:14.730 gets very sideways there.
Almost has the left rear.
Seaside Way.
Yeah, almost has the left rear hit the wall just past the tire barrier on Seaside Way. Just a little too early on the power. Off of Seaside, the little right-hander onto Linden. Then the left, hard left before the right-hand turn at the hairpin. I don't think we'll see improvement on this lap because of the problem. And Christian Fittipaldi goes through at a 1:15.1. Let's see what Ricky Taylor can do. Taylor goes through, does not improve. So Christian Fittipaldi, advantage Fittipaldi at this point at a 1:15.1. Mark Goossens now is being heard from in the number 90 at a 1:15.494. Under 8 minutes to go in this session. We have still got a lot of time to see who is going to be on the pole for the Bubba Burger Sports Car Grand Prix at Long Beach tomorrow afternoon. Eric Curran trying very hard, working the wheel very hard as they go through onto Seaside. He's trying to chase down Christian Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi hits that little bump on the Seaside, handles it very well, comes back over to the middle of the racetrack. Trying to avoid the bumps, hard on the brakes, makes the right-hand turn. He's in that right-left. This is such a beautiful complex. It's such a great rhythm for the drivers. And then it's full hard on the brakes, full lock as they go through the hairpin, kicks the rear end around, and Fittipaldi full on the power on that Corvette as he goes by us, heading towards start-finish. Will he improve his time? He does! To a 1:14.962 for Christian Fittipaldi.
Within a couple of tenths of a second of the track record set last year by Ricky Taylor. Ricky Taylor does improve on that lap. It's only a 1:15.3, so he needs to try and do it in half a second if he's going to improve on his mark from last year. Ricky Taylor then in car number 10. Oops. A big
schmozzle there.
How many cars have we got?
We have 3 cars.
8
We've got
cars here. 3 of them together are stopped at the hairpin.
A third of the field. Third of the field is stopped. We've got the 70 Mazda, we've got the 55 Mazda, and the number 90 Mark Goossens all stopped at the hairpin. Red flag comes out with 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the session. Everybody, there doesn't look like there's any damage or serious damage to any of these cars, so it shouldn't take long to clear this out and get back underway. The 70 car is back underway and is made his way to pit road. That's Tom Wong in the number 70 car. Mark Goossens was behind the wheel of the 90, and Tristan Nunez in the 55. So yeah. I suspect Nunez has now pulled away, and it looks like Goossens may be the only one that stalled. Yeah. He's nose in at the exit of the hairpin as the Delta Wing kind of tiptoes his way through. Shea Adam is in the Mazda pit.
Yeah, and Tom Wong just coming up now in the 70. Doesn't look like there's any damage to the front of the car at least, nor the back, but Tom is pulling and turning the car off as the 55 is now making its way right behind these sister cars. It also pulls into a stop. I can't see much damage on this car. There's a little bit of crackling where you can actually see the carbon fiber through the black paint on the right-hand portion of the nose, and the headlight is broken as there are pieces and shards of headlight actually wedged inside behind the plexiglass. So that's happened, but it doesn't look like these cars are too badly off, Jim, honestly. In the 90 a bit further up should be making its way in soon too.
Now they're pushing the car back. Goosens did stall it, Jay, so he's
yeah. I don't know whether he stalled or not, but what he couldn't find was reverse gear.
Ah, thank you, Jeremy.
I don't know whether he stalled. I'm not saying he did or he didn't, but certainly looks like he can't find reverse gear, which isn't good. These cars have to have a working
and he
gear.
pulls away under his own power, so he obviously didn't stall it. Sorry, Mark. And it looks like the only damage to that was perhaps a little to the splitter where he touched the wall.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what contact there was between any of those cars there. Whether there was contact from one of the Mazdas. I think the second of the Mazda was just sort of kind of held up, had nowhere to go. So I don't know. We haven't seen a replay of what caused that incident, but certainly I don't think there was any particularly heavy contact with anybody, or even the wall, other than, as you just said, Jim, the number 90 car making some slight contact with the front on the barrier on the inside of the racetrack on the exit of the hairpin.
So now 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
Here we go.
Goosens comes into the corner and just spins around of his own volition, catches the right front splitter on the
he just got a little bit greedy. He was just trying to get on the power just a little bit too soon.
Just kicked that rear end around like Christian Fittipaldi did, only just jumped on it a little too soon. And then along come the 55. Now the 60 car goes through just fine. And then Nunez comes through, and the yellow flag was waving, and the corner workers were telling him to go wide, but Nunez came straight in and just clouched the number 90 car in the right door.
Yeah, and that's a bit naughty there from Tristan Nunez. The yellow flags were being waved. Should be able to see them as you're coming around the left-hander to prepare for the hairpin, because the flag at that point is pretty much directly in front of you as a driver on the right-hand side of the road, on the inside of the hairpin. And Tristan Nunez, I think, there was probably distracted by number 60 car John Pugh ahead of him. That presumably is why he wouldn't have seen the yellow flags. He was probably wondering why John Pugh was running wide around the hairpin. So it's kind of a catalogue of unfortunate circumstances for the youngster Tristan Nunez.
Two missing dive planes off the nose of the 55 as well, as I can see the 90 now, and there looks to be no serious damage to this car. It's actually very light. A couple of little red flakes on the front, almost as if a sticker got wedged on it, but the splitter has a slight push up on the front right side. That's it, guys. Nothing else. I mean, it doesn't look like it would affect the aero at all, but Mark Goosens is still behind the wheel of the 90, although he has taken his gloves off and has given the crew the signal that, we're not going back out, are we? No, actually, no, he's getting out. He's unbuckling. He picked up his gloves again as if he was going to put him back on, but he's done. The 90 car is done.
That's too bad. 7th quick after being in the top 3 for most of the session. That's a tough break.
And for causing the red flag, his best lap taken away.
That's why he has dropped down.
Yeah.
Good point, Jeremy. That's why he's dropped down to 7th. And you probably heard in the background of Shay's microphone, we are back under green with about a minute and a half to go. So this is a dash for cash at this point for the pole of the Bubba Burger Sports Car Grand Prix at Long Beach. The drivers are completing their outlap, so this is going to be about a one-lap dash. Your one-lap shot to see if anybody's got potential to unseat Christian Fittipaldi in his 1:14.962.
That is exactly right. There is just going to be time for one fly down. So no pressure, guys. Just get out there and nail the lap. That's the plan. Tristan Nunez came straight back onto pit lane as well in Color 55. His currently shown as the third fastest time, but he is not going to be out there for this final lap of qualifying.
And how about Andy Merritt, 5th quickest in the Delta Wing at a 16th lap. That's excellent performance for them so far. So your 3 antagonists, Christian Fittipaldi, Ricky Taylor, Eric Kern, all trying to go. Tom excellent performance by Tom. That's the fastest, that's the most speed we've seen out of that car, and he is in fact going to get another lap as he's been able to get through before the checkered flag phase.
The same boat. They're all going to have, they just did that one lap, now they're on the second lap, and this is going to be the final lap of the session. Now the time does expire, the checkered flag will be out. I believe the first car that's going to see the checkered flag is going to become the 5 Christian Fittipaldi.
Should be. He was leading on. There he comes out of the hairpin all the way up the left-hand side near the wall, pushing hard towards start finish. No improvement, 15.6. Eric Kern goes through, no improvement. Then comes Ricky Taylor. No improvement, a 1:15.1. He does improve, but not enough. He does improve, but not enough, as he is 0.171 seconds behind Christian Fittipaldi. As the rest of the field are waiting for Tom Long. Does Tom Long have anything to pull out of his hat? He just went through it at 1:15.6. He improved in the first sector. If he can go baby purple in the third sector,
He brought that car up to
he
pit
brought
road.
down to pit road. Oh, so Tom Long is done. So Christian Fittipaldi in the Action Express number 5 will be the pole sitter for tomorrow's Bubba Burger Sports Car Grand Prix at Long Beach. Round 3 of the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. A heck of a performance by Christian Fittipaldi, just nosing our defending race winner Ricky Taylor by 0.171 second. Then in third position, starting on the inside of the second row, will be Tom Long in the Mazda number 70. An absolutely fantastic performance this weekend by both the Mazdas. We'll have one starting third, we'll have one starting fifth. Long qualifying at a 1:15.641, just 0.6 of a second behind our pole sitter. Then comes Eric Kern in the number 31 Corvette from Action Express at a 1:15.741. Then the second Mazda, as I said, starting fifth, number 55, Tristan Nunez at a 1:15.792. Then the Delta Wing, number 0, Andy Merrick at a 1:16.006. Mark Goosen, who caused our red flag and therefore lost his best time, drops all the way to 7th. Tough break for him. He'll be starting the next to last for the prototypes at a 1:16.163, and then John Pugh went through at a 1:17.513, and that is in fact slower than 3 of the GTLM cars. So John Pugh struggling to come to grips with the circuit here at Long Beach on that car that has shown a lot of speed earlier in the season.
And had his sort of concentration there obviously interrupted by that red flag, and not quite able to get up to speed again afterwards.
Well, and had to take evasive action on a hot lap when after Mark Goosen spun, and that's why when you are the person who brings out the red flag, most generally you lose your best time because you tend to mess up things for other folks. Christian Fittipaldi out of the car, gets a big hug from his teammate Joao Barbosa.
That's the third pole in the IMSA Championship for Christian Fittipaldi. The first one came at Petit Le Mans in 2014, then also on the pole last year in Detroit. So he's a bit of a street fighter, is Christian Fittipaldi. Pole last year, as I say, on the streets of Detroit, and now a pole here on the streets of Long Beach. Great effort by the Brazilian, 45 years of age these days, Christian Fittipaldi. Of course, his family has had a lot of success here. Emerson Fittipaldi, who is his uncle, has raced here both IndyCars and Formula One. Christian Fittipaldi he'll be thrilled with this pole position. He's another guy who's pretty keen on the history of the sport. There's Joao Barbosa watching on as well, and he gets a handshake between the two of them, and that certainly would be a great way to start the race for tomorrow.
And he comes to the attention of Shea Adam.
Christian Fittipaldi, you worked for that pole, man, but you look so happy about it. This track has a lot of history for you, and you've been here a lot of times before. What's it like to be starting first for tomorrow's race?
Well, definitely a lot of history for myself, for my family. I think Hamill won a couple of times here in IndyCars. I've been coming here since 95, and to be honest with you, Fontana and other places here in California, they have been very good to me, but I had hard times here in Long Beach. So to stick a pole on this one, especially where we know that the team has a really hard time with the 2 races in the West Coast. It was really important for us, and I'm really happy, and I'm very happy for the team also.
We're not used to the Mustang sampling car not winning races, but it's been a while now. You going to change that tomorrow?
Wow. Sorry, I didn't under.
It's been a long time since you guys have a win, but do you think you can do it now that you've got a pole?
Well, we won in Road Atlanta. That was 3 races ago, but it was 6 months ago. I agree with you. Yeah, starting in the front on a street course is definitely makes your life less hard. But tomorrow is show time, and tomorrow counts, and the whole team needs to work very well together. Both drivers need to do their job. Pit stops need to be flawless. Strategy needs to be very good, and I definitely think we have a shot tomorrow, but it's not going to be easy. But hopefully we can keep the Chevy Mustang sampling up there and have a nice time.
The defending champion still on championship form.
I'll never get used to that, Jeremy. A Chevrolet with Mustang sampling on it. Congratulations to Christian Fittipaldi and Joao Barbosa, who will start on the pole for tomorrow's race. Ricky Taylor, our defending race winner, will be second. In GTLM, it's the hometown hero, Bill Auberlin, that'll start on the pole alongside Earl Bamber in the Porsche, number 912. And in PC, it'll be James French, who will be starting at the front, just a little bit faster than John Bennett, who will be starting second in the class. So that's kind of a quick wrap-up of your pole sitters. Jeremy, what do you expect in tomorrow's race?
Lots of action.
Yeah, action.
And the grid for tomorrow's race won't look quite how the qualifying order looks, because in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, we'll start, the prototype cars will start ahead of the GTLM cars. So all the PC cars, I think that's the plan in any case, it normally is. We'll have the prototype cars, then the PC cars, and then the GTLM cars will start, I believe, on a staggered grid, so they'll start a little bit farther back behind, and that's not on purpose, so to try and minimize the chance of incidents between 2 different cars, 2 different classes of car in the early stages of the race, particularly with the fact that the PC cars are all started by the amateur drivers, or the less experienced drivers, than their professional colleagues who will finish off the race in the PC class entries.
Well, that's going to wrap it up from here at Long Beach. Tomorrow we will be with you for the running of the Bubba Burger Sports Car Grand Prix of Long Beach. We'll be on the air with our countdown to green about 20 minutes before the green flag falls here at Long Beach, so you won't want to miss that. For Shea Adam on our Continental Pit Lane, Jeremy Shaw, for Dee back in London, and of course, as always, our responsible adult Eve Hewitt, I'm Jim Roller saying so long from Long Beach.